Generic greetings and welcome to BattleBit Remastered. Today's beverages: a delicious chocolate and coconut oat milkshake. Very, very nice indeed. So welcome to BattleBit Remastered. This is an extra video on top of the usual release schedule, as well as something a bit different, mainly because I don't usually feature FPS on the channel, but I thought I'd make an exception in this case. And secondly, you can see in the background this is pre-record, so basically various clips from several sessions I've had on BattleBit, and trust me, there's been quite a few sessions as of late. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about the game and weigh in, and maybe sort of not really champion the game, but maybe put some reservations aside for yourself if you've maybe looked at it and thought, I'm not really too sure, and I just want to give my take on it. So no harm, no foul if you want to give this one a bit of a skip. I understand it's not normal channel sort of content. The too long didn't watch version, that if you're looking for a reasonably priced online FPS that has similar gameplay to Battlefield sort of 3, 4, Bad Company, then you can't go far wrong with BattleBit. So what is BattleBit? Well, it's billed as a low-poly, massively multiplayer FPS supporting 254 players. So when it says massively multiplayer, it doesn't mean sort of planet-side, but it is certainly 127 people a server. You can do 64 on other ones. But yeah, that's the main sort of selling point. So fairly big maps, similar to sort of Battle Royale in sizes. Some of them large, some of them small. Actually, we'll cover maps later on anyway. But yeah, basically it's an FPS that has certainly come in and really taken a market that should have been held by other games, namely Battlefield, but because of various choices and whatnot, has sort of they've moved away, and this has sort of swooped in and got people's attention. Very much got people's attention. As of the time of recording, my attention is over 30 hours on the game, and that's mostly in 2 weeks. And on top of that, I think the player count peak was 86,000 and change. Again, accurate as the time of recording, and there's over 50,000 positive reviews on Steam, or 50,000 total reviews, should I say. But yeah, it's something that has really taken off. Now, obviously, you look at it and you go, I don't really get it, and I can totally accept that, because looking at it, it looks, with the best will in the world, fairly garbage. I mean, it's very basic. People are calling it, it's the Roblox shooter game, and I can totally understand that. Very low poly, very simplified. I think the best way to describe it is it's made by 3 people, I believe, and well, although there is some detail in it, especially when it comes to the weapons and such, it's probably as best we can hope for with the modest time and resources for the people involved. I think that's the most generous way I can say that it doesn't look very good. However, if that is your main sticking point, I would urge you to put that aside. The best looking game I've ever played is, well, it's Monkey Island, the Curse of, isn't it? Curse of Monkey Island and Red Alert 2 are both the best looking games ever made and the best games ever made. But putting the meme aside, the joke aside, Cyberpunk 2077 has to be the best looking game I've ever played. However, after 10 hours, you just don't notice. At least I don't notice. It's one of those that now and again you'll get the odd, you'll catch your eye, you'll see like a big holographic sort of fish go ahead or something, and you go, wow, that looks amazing. And this is not a boast, but I am fortunate enough, thanks to people who watch these videos and for the Patreons, that I can run it maxed out with full ray tracing and everything else, so that's great. And it's like, wow, this is such a good looking game. But after 10 hours, I just don't notice. You normalise it. And I would argue that the exact same thing happens for BattleBit, but instead of taking an amazing looking game and then just, this is now normal, this is fine now, you go the other way. It's like, ugh, that doesn't look very good. And you go from looking at the game to just looking for targets. It's all about the gameplay, and the same thing happens whether you're a really good looking game or a bad game. It's the exact same excuse that people had with Minecraft, and I don't think there's really been, I've not seen that many comments being put to other games since that. So when Minecraft was in its like alpha stage, the amount of people, and the main comment, I think it wasn't unreasonable to say that, oh, it looks terrible. It's a terrible looking game. It's low poly, low texture, low res, yeah. Okay, I accept that, and you guess you are objectively correct. How many hours have you got in it? Oh, so many. And everybody was playing it. Loads of people, like, they said the same thing after. Oh, you just don't notice. You just don't notice because it's just, you're just enjoying it, and that's the same for BattleBit. So if you are looking at it going, ugh, I don't really like the look of it, and yes, it would be nice if it looked better, especially if the effects were better, the lighting was better, there was ray tracing, whatever, just something extra. I mean, the skyboxes are very pretty actually, but yeah, I would say that it isn't about that, and well, yeah, at least it'll run on just everything, like a calculator will probably run it. I actually don't know the specifications, but yeah, basically, if your main reservation is it looks terrible, I would urge you to probably put that aside and try it. In terms of how it plays, well, mentioned previously, it is very similar to the sort of Battlefield 3, 4 and sort of Bad Company levels, but it takes a lot of those staple, and I am going to refer to Battlefield specifically, it takes a lot of those staple Battlefield features and just puts them all together in a way that, well, Battlefield shouldn't have forgotten about. So you do have a class system. You know, you've got your medic, you've got your sniper/recon. I can't remember what to call it. You've got, you know, support, and all of these have certain staples. So naturally, your snipers are going to be sniping. Your medics are going to be picking people up and reviving. The support's going to be putting ammo boxes down and has a big gun, that sort of thing. In terms of the stuff that you can carry, well, for the weapons, you do have unlocks. It's based on a level-up system for your account. So as you play and you level up, you'll unlock different weapons. For each of the weapons, there's a whole customization option for those, whether it be barrels and sights, scopes, sights, rail attachments, magazines, skins, etc. All of these alter the myriad of stats that are in the game, like vertical and horizontal recoil, different damage, armor pattern, the controls, and that sort of thing. So it's very detailed, weapon like drop off and muzzle velocity, etc. So all of that, in spite of its looks, has been modeled and can be customized. And yes, I'm sure there'll be balance issues here and there, because trying to balance all of these things is going to be a nightmare, but the fact that it's in there is good. And the way you get those is by getting, I believe, kills on each of the weapons. For your class and your character itself, you've got obviously different loadouts, not just for weapons, but also the gadgets, so you can have mines and C4s, because guess what? The terrain is mostly destructible. Not the levolution you get in Battlefield with, like, big craters and such, but, like, you can blow walls down, buildings will fall down. Yeah, you've got a lot of that. But yeah, you've got different gadgets like grappling hooks and C4, mines and claymores and decoys and spotting scopes. You can alter your uniform. It's not just a change in appearance, but also change in how it functions. So you might have a bigger, armier, bulkier loadout, which makes you move slowly, but you've got more armor. You may go for more faster run and gun approach. You might go for sort of middling, which gives you more magazines. And speaking of magazines, it's got a nice system where when you reload, you can either do a quick reload, which means drop the mag and reload quickly, or you can do a standard reload where you put that spent magazine away, and then when you come to refill them, you can indeed put the angry lead back in. Otherwise, if you drop the mag, guess what? You can't refill it. You ain't got a magazine. You have to actually go and pick them back up. Or, as I said, if you keep them, you can then refill them. You can also, say, a half-fire mag, change it out, half-fire another one, and then combine those together. So it's got all of these features that are just, like, really useful, really nice, and sort of, I don't know if your class is advanced, I don't know if that's the right term, but certainly features that you would like in a more grown-up FPS, less arcadey, shall we say. And yeah, that's all in there. In terms of teamwork, you can start a team before you jump in, so you're playing with your full squad. You can spawn on any of your squad members as long as they're not in combat or down. You can revive anyone that's down, not just your squad members, but also teammates as well, encouraging teamwork. There's a VoIP system in-game, which is, well, it's good and bad. Depends on, your mileage may vary. It's good for communication and quite funny at times when you can hear the opponent's mic and what they're saying, and if they get downed and whatnot. Or people can blast copyright music through it, can just generally be not very nice. So yeah, I've got mine mostly muted, but it is what it is. The maps are varied. They are day-night maps. Sometimes you'll have a night fight where you can literally see nothing without night vision. You do have different night vision options, scopes, you've got infrared lasers. actually infrared lasers? You've got lasers, I don't know about infrared. You've got torches, that can affect the infrared if you've got like flares, sort of like it'll bloom out. Obviously you've got your day standard fights, the maps can be quite small, sort of close quarters, house to house fighting, very fast paced, or you've got maybe longer range, like very larger maps that sort of more your battle royale almost size, like say 254 players with lots of vehicles on there. You've got helicopters, rappel systems, you've got boats, you've got APCs, tanks, jeeps and other transports. The map could be like a sniping map, it could be quite close in, could be quite full of foliage or open up. So, and in between there's maps where there's a big cargo container in the middle where it's intense fighting, but then around that you've generally got your sort of support and sniping going on. And yeah, basically one could say it's like Battlefield, it just didn't have the ability to look like Battlefield. And well, I've got over 30 hours on it, and that's over the course of about 2 and a bit weeks, so yeah, fair to say it has got its hooks in me. It's certainly not, you know, it's not finished. It is in early access. They've already confirmed the options for the future, so there's going to be more. There's going to be obviously quality of life. You're going to get more vehicles, and I don't think they're putting jets in, but well, who knows where the game. I don't know. I don't think they expect it to be as big as it has been. So who knows what's going to be added? They're going to release more weapons. Going to have milsim modes, different gadgets, more features, more maps, etc. Whatever the roadmap was, that was probably before they made a lot of money. So that's going to buy them time and hopefully the ability to get it where they want to go. And if that, you know, makes it, if that's scope creep coming into play, then well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, not finished and certainly not all balanced. I mean, there's issues with certain weapons, like claymores stay on the ground or like constantly, so if the map gets, you know, bigger and bigger, basically you end up walking into claymores all the time, but the other mines don't do that. DMRs seem to be, well, I've not personally had any success, and I don't know anyone who has. The support weapons can be a mix between, oh look, fire and everything over there dies, to, oh my god, I can't hit a thing, why? Why not? And yeah, it's in an interesting place. Put it this way, it released pretty much out of nowhere for me personally. I didn't look at it at all until it came out, and then saw a lot of the typical FPS sort of YouTube channels playing it and had the same, that looks a bit terrible, but then saw some of the features and give it a go, and quickly became a very, very fun thing to jump into and play. So yeah, very much enjoying. Don't mind sort of signal boosting the game and talk about my experience with it. Looking forward to see what they do with it. I hope it's in capable hands. The fact that it's made by, is it 3 people, or I think it's 3 people, I think what's said. But yeah, it's notable that we can have companies kicking out games, and games that are almost a generational game, you know, taking 5-10 years to make in some cases. But even if we're talking about, like, again, Battlefield, you know, 2 or 3 years you'll get another one. And, oh, it looks amazing, but the moment to moment is just not what people after. The features are just not there. Obviously what's been sacrificed is fidelity and the fact they don't have to release on 27 different platforms. It's just, here's a PC online FPS that admittedly is not great looking, but, well, plays really well. And that's what I get out of it. Hopefully it will stay like that, and hopefully the community won't jump into just we're using X number of weapons because they're overpowered, and the whole sort of min-max meta thing comes in, or people only playing certain classes solely for experience, missing out on the whole point of playing it because it's fun. I think every game goes like that way anyway. But interesting times. Let's see what happens. As I said, if you are in the market for a bit of an online shooter and you can get over how it looks, then you can't really go far wrong. And it's like 12 quid. It's like 12 generic units of currency for where I am. Actually, store £12.79. So yeah, I don't normally mention price because, again, your mileage may vary on that. Some people don't mind paying a lot of money for a game to play for 3 or 4 hours. Some people like to say, oh, £1 an hour. It's completely up to you. But it's a noteworthy game at a reasonable price, and there is a support pack available and that sort of thing. But yeah, BattleBit, and this video indeed different to what we usually put out. Hopefully that's been my take on it. If it was interesting, let me know in the comments. If you have any comments regarding the game, any tips, comments, suggestions, etc. Would like to hear them. Still very much learning the game, mainly playing snipers and enjoying that, but have played pretty much all the classes. Support is probably my next played one, mainly just for firing RPG 7s into buildings and watching the hit marker activate. That's always quite fun. But anyway, BattleBit Remastered. It's something you may want to check out, especially, like I say, if you are one for FPS. And the chances are, if you are, then you probably are in to play it, so I might see you in a game. Either way, hope you have enjoyed this little extra video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.